Hello everybody and welcome to the West Ham Way YouTube channel. You already know who I am. Just got off a lively stream. Obviously it was West Ham United 1, Crystal Palace 1. And to be fair, after that first half I would have taken that draw even with the Benteke red card. I thought, West Ham set up in that 4-2-3 when I thought we were going to play between the lines of Crystal Palace and get Benrahma on the ball. But it didn't work for West Ham. I know we always start fast, but I just felt like we sat back a little bit. Crystal Palace are so good at pressing their entire team up and sitting back as well in that defensive structure. And I think it really hurt West Ham. There were no spaces or openings. It was difficult for us to try and get in behind and use mobility. And obviously our attacking four, really, Haller, Fornals, Benrahma and Bowen weren't getting high up the pitch and trying to affect things. And I think West Ham struggled with that. We didn't know how to break them down. And equally, Palace were very, very good at pushing their players forward, in particular the likes of Eze picking the ball up, causing us issues. Zaha off the ball, his runs in behind. Benteke, obviously, for that goal. And it was tough. I thought West Ham, particularly defensively, looked really, really vulnerable. I'm going to have to talk about him. I know it was a good result in the end. It's Issa Diop for me. Obviously, an improved performance in that second half, but first half, looked very shaky positionally. He was getting caught off a lot. He was getting dragged out of position with people like Zaha. Was really struggling. And I think it didn't help that West Ham back four. Maybe in a back five we get away with it. In a back four, you've got to be switched on. And I think we missed Balbuena in that first half. And let's talk about the goal. Really poor. It was a bit of a throwback actually to what I'd seen with West Ham in the past, where ball comes in from that right-hand side off Ward. We didn't close him and press him. And to be fair to Creswell, I wouldn't have asked him to do that. And isn't something that we've seen from West Ham. We've normally seen in that 5-4-1, Fornals doing that work. But the ball comes in. And for me, Diop's lost his man. And I thought it was an incredibly poor defensive show from him. He's seen the run of Benteke on the replay. You can see him coming, and obviously he's allowed him to come past him, and he's got him behind. And obviously that header was fantastic from Benteke. The movement done him, and I feared for the worst for West Ham, because when we went 1-0 down, we didn't show really any signs of getting back into the game from open play. Deliveries, I thought Palace, like I said in the preview, was absolutely their strength. It was always going to be tough for West Ham to create stuff, trying to get into the back stick. And you even saw our midfield. I'm not used to seeing this. I agreed with the preview. I said, the two defensive pivots to sit a little bit deeper and soak up a bit of Palace pressure and transition if we can. But Declan was sitting really deep at times. The entire playing 11 was sitting quite deep. Even Sebastien Haller at times coming into his own half. Bowen and Benrahma, even if they pick up the ball just past that half and just into Palace's half, we were never going to affect things. And I was really fearing the worst. And obviously, me and the lads said at half time, we've got to change something. We've got to try and transition a bit quicker. We've got to push our players up the pitch and make Palace work for this and try and create something, because Palace's defensive shape, I've got to be perfectly honest, is fantastic. They restrict the space, they make it difficult. You can't get the mobility in behind. One thing they do is concede width on those wide areas. And I thought that Soufal tonight, we can speak about his performance, phenomenal. Defensive awareness in terms of dealing with the threat of Van Aanholt, Eze, Wilfried Zaha, very cute in his defensive attributes as well, seeing the ball out at times, blocking runs when he had to, getting forward. I thought he was fantastic. And he put some really decent deliveries into the box. And unfortunately in that first half, we didn't see too many players there. Haller at times was in his own half, and I just passed into that Palace half, and we were never going to get anything from there. But I thought West Ham in the second half set up exactly how we had to. Started to press Palace. I think we saw that towards the end of the first half, but particularly in the second half, the team pressed up. You were having the likes of Thomas Souček playing almost as a late midfield runner and getting there and trying to put pressure on Crystal Palace and get West Ham out of their own half, because when we're sitting too deep, we look vulnerable and we're allowing Palace to try and create chances. And I thought it worked fantastically. Lanzini coming on in the 10 role, Benrahma coming wide. I thought Lanzini was picking up pockets very nicely. I thought Benrahma could have done it. But again, I guess in that second half when we're pressing higher, Lanzini was that guy, and I think it massively benefited him. The goal. The goal from Sebastien Haller is, for me, the best thing I've seen. I know it's hyperbolic. I know I've just seen the game. But oh my word. I thought the build-up of West Ham to try and hurt Palace on a transition is difficult. It's very difficult. They're so in shape. I think West Ham moved that ball very, very quickly. Bowen drove a lot, and obviously come to Soufal. The ball, in essence, is a lofted ball, fair play, but it is behind Haller. And listen, Haller is where he needs to be, and he needed to be for this game as well. In the box, fantastic overhead kick. No keeper in world football for me is saving that. Unreal from the bloke, and that changed his game. He's running men down, he's winning balls, he's trying to keep the ball in the Palace half for us when that goal goes in. His attitude changed, his touch was fantastic. It was a real solid performance from Sebastien Haller in that second half. And even the likes of Issa Diop, we know when the pressure wasn't West Ham, and West Ham didn't invite that from Crystal Palace, even looked a bit stronger and dealt with Benteke better. Benteke's red card, for me, changed the game a little bit. I think Palace would have fancied themselves to possibly get back into the game a couple of times with the late runs of Eze. You've obviously got Wilfried Zaha picking the ball up and trying to run in behind. Van Aanholt at times pushing forward. Possibly could have created something even when West Ham did score. But obviously the Benteke red card, 2 yellow cards, for me, fair enough. I think as West Ham fans, if we'd seen that on retrospect, if it was our player, we would have gone, fair enough. There are 2 yellows. He deserves to be sent off. But certainly changed the game. I know his substitutions didn't say that as much as I would have thought. Andre Ayew, not Andre Ayew, forgetting myself there, Jordan Ayew, and Jeffrey Schlupp coming in as well, offensive changes. But I think you see Ayew almost playing in a midfield 3 at times, sitting deeper, Wilf coming to the left-hand side. I think Palace at that stage, probably 75th minute, knew that the draw was the preferable result. And if I'm going to be critical, and I'm really hesitant to be critical actually after showing a little bit of resolve, and particularly David Moyes' in-game management here, is the fact that we couldn't break Crystal Palace down when we had the ball. And that's always been, I think, the thing with West Ham against Fulham, against Sheffield United. When we've got the ball, I think we struggle when there's not spaces in behind and teams sit deep. And it was tough for us. The wide areas were still successful to a degree. I thought obviously you saw Benrahma get on the ball a little bit, Soufal. But again, for me, that moment of magic from Sebastien Haller, hitting them on the transition when they're out of shape, was the difference for West Ham getting the point. I know people will look back and say it was a red card. Maybe we should have gone on to win the game. I'm happy with the result, if I'm honest. Performance second half was 10 times better. Credit to David Moyes in this instance as well. I thought that the way the team were playing in the first half was shocking, really negative, inviting Palace on. I think that changed the press up a little bit. But, bring on Manuel Lanzini as well for Pablo Fornals and have a natural 10 in there, creating things. Benrahma to his natural side. Gave Palace things to think about and hurt him in transitions and with players that could drive with the ball and create and allow Sebastien Haller to get in those offensive positions that he needed to be in. Obviously, we couldn't get that second goal. I'm not going to complain. It's definitely not the time to complain. We move on. We've got Chelsea on Monday evening, and that will be a different game. I expect a completely different game plan from West Ham. Final thing as well, I thought Declan Rice and Souček tonight were absolutely superb. It's no easy task, trying to protect a back four and get forward and that transition and dealing with it. But I thought the ability of them in the second half, one to drop a bit deeper in Rice and one to push forward in Souček, the relationship they've got, the work ethic, Declan even trying to win it earlier in that second half in transition and try and set something up for West Ham. They really, really showed their quality tonight, defensively and offensively. And they're an absolute credit to West Ham, and they're so crucial for West Ham's success this season. I'm going to end it there. I'm happy enough with it. Listen, if you're watching this, make sure you like it, first and foremost. Secondly, 25 or 5K subscribers is ridiculous. It was on, I think it was, 4,850 the other day. So it's immense. So make sure you subscribe if you're new. I'll be back probably around Saturday, possibly Sunday, with obviously the predicted 11 for the Chelsea game. This is how we beat Chelsea. I'll bring out that video as well. A fan's voice possibly on Saturday. And of course, the watch along with the regulars. Dennis, Angus, Charles will all return for some entertaining laughs, and fingers crossed we can get that win over Fat Frank. Come on, you Irons. And until next time, take care.